Kenny Omega discusses the infamous Brawl Out incident for the first time publicly, also reveals his feelings about CM Punk and his current status and power as an AEW Executive Vice President. Speaking of his fellow EVPs, the Young Bucks, they're going to be facing off against FTR in a ladder match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships at the upcoming AEW Dynasty pay-per-view. An update on Jon Moxley's current schedule in both AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling after he won the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship this past Friday night. Roderick Strong attacks Kyle O'Reilly on Battle of the Belts, and an international championship match is set for the upcoming Dynasty pay-per-view. An update on WWE superstar Big E's in-ring future after the 2-year neck scans on his broken neck came back. An update on Tama Tonga. He made his debut Friday night on SmackDown. We got the backstage reaction to his debut on the Blue brand. The augmented reality portion of WWE television reportedly is being scaled back, and we'll let you know why. Matt Riddle made a surprisingly quick exit after dropping the New Japan Television Championship Friday night. We've got some details on that. Plus, Riho, she's off AEW television. We'll let you know why that is. AEW announces several new TV tapings for June, and Sue Aitchison, a longtime WWE corporate member, has been released. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about Kenny Omega. For the first time publicly, has spoken quite in depth about the Brawl Out incident, as much as he can anyway. Of course, everyone involved signed NDAs after the incident in 2022. Now, CM Punk's altercations with AEW stars Jack Perry and The Elite have once again entered the conversation following Punk's recent comments on the matter, and AEW subsequent airing of his and Jack Perry's scuffle at All In during AEW Dynamite this week. Now, prior to the incident at All In, Punk was also at the center of a firestorm following AEW All Out in 2022, launching into a verbal tirade against EVP's Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks during the post-show press conference before what would become known as Brawl Out, an incident inside a locker room in Chicago with both sides getting into a subsequent scuffle. Now, Omega took the chance to address his side of things during the Brawl Out incident involving himself, the Young Bucks, CM Punk, Ace Steel, during a recent Twitch stream. Now, here's what Kenny Omega had to say. The video is a little bit blurry because it's actually a real small part of a wider screen. They're playing a game at a time, but I've managed to kind of crop it so you can just see Kenny Omega. Here's a look at what Omega had to say.
I thought my duty as an EVP during Brawl Out would be to enter the situation while there was chaos, de-escalate it, and create a peaceful environment for everyone. I was able to create a peaceful environment for the most important person in that altercation, and that was Larry. And I swear to God, honestly, that was my biggest, and yeah, it sounds funny, but like, I look at animals and our pets as people, and as, you know, Dobby, of course, one of the most important people in my life. So to get little Larry out of there was the most important thing to me, and that was the success. Unfortunately, try as I may, things were too chaotic for me to be able to do anything by my own power. That was a moment when I had seen that there were... Good call. I believe it was in that instance when I realized that the way that I wanted to go about things wasn't necessarily the way that other people wanted to. It was also the way that other people necessarily didn't want to. And then it was also maybe not the way that the boss wanted to take care of it. And I also thought of myself as a liability because I don't want to say old school. I'm not old school. I've just played a lot of contact sports, and I've gotten into jiu-jitsu and boxing and mixed martial arts. I just know that sometimes when you perform or when you fight, when everything's on the line, when you give your heart, when you give your soul towards something, and you're in that moment of high stress or high anxiety, where you've maybe emptied the tank and you're just physically exhausted. When in an environment like that, sometimes emotions get the best of you and people will want to throw hands. And in the case, and I'm unfortunately or fortunately a believer of it, I think if it's decided that, hey, this is the best way to solve things, and you can shake hands after and move on after, I'm a believer. I'm actually a believer of fighting. I am, and it sounds terrible to say, and which is why, like, don't make me an EVP in 2024. You can't do that stuff anymore. I just feel that sometimes that's how you have to settle things. Sometimes. And I don't mean you have to settle it and then it has to be shown on screen to everyone or people have to brag online about who won, who lost. No, like it's not for that purpose. It's for the purpose of just getting that stuff out that you need to get out. And I mean, I'll admit there were a number of times even now with me where I thought that might have been the most appropriate answer. It never came to that. We were able to talk things out and we became better friends, and there was a level of respect at that point on between myself and these other parties. And maybe I'll share these stories later. It's but I always it's crazy. As much as I believe in cooler heads prevailing, sitting down and talking, sometimes it was just like, hey, I can't even think straight until I start throwing some hay, and or maybe that I need to be smacked around a little bit, whatever the case might be. I think if it's a contained scenario and if it's not a situation where it's, there's like pulling people's eyeballs out, low blows, hair pulling or scratching, you know what I mean? If it's just like, hey, let's just hang and bang a little bit. I can see it sometimes being conducive for a positive work environment. Again, this is exactly why I have no power, nor should I. So that's just how I feel. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
So what do you make of what Kenny Omega had to say there? Is he right? Is he wrong? And does that open your eyes a little bit more to other aspects of the story that maybe you hadn't thought about? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Now, when it comes to his future in AEW in terms of competing in the ring, we've got a bit of an update when it comes to his ongoing recovery from diverticulitis. Of course, back on December 15 last year, Omega was diagnosed with diverticulitis ahead of a scheduled AEW World Tag Team Championship match at the World's End pay-per-view, of which he and Chris Jericho would have challenged then champions Ricky Starks and Big Bill. With 4 months now removed from Omega's diagnosis, the cleaner has now provided fans an update on his current condition amid constant questions regarding his return to the ring. Now, in the same Twitch stream, Omega revealed how he was currently feeling. He said, quote, "Even though I'm very much still dealing with the effects of diverticulitis and diverticulosis, there is this wonderful clinic, Life Med Clinic over in Baltimore, and they have helped a number of wrestlers. They have done stuff with DDP and DDP Yoga. Their professionals were able to hook me up with a supplement line consisting of the stuff that I need for general gut health and healing peptides, and has helped me feel very good for my day-to-day. Before, I was having one real bad day and one real good day. On streaming days, I would stay in bed until 5 p.m. to make sure I could do it. It's something I wanted to do. IV drips, being hydrated, even though it sounds like a strange thing. When it's bad, you don't feel like digesting anything because drinking and eating hurts. With these supplements, a lot of my inflammation has gone down. I'm able to eat properly and drink more fluids without feeling discomfort. Aside from feeling sensitive to the touch, for a quick second I thought, oh my goodness, is it possible I'm able to go back without surgery? Nah. This, the first time I take someone's double foot stomp, even if it's a Marco stunt or Riho, something is probably going to blow. Even if Dobby walks on my belly, that's a 21-pound cat. As good as I feel right now in my day-to-day and training, once impact starts to get involved or you have to use your core to do any heavy lifts, that's when things start to get dangerous. I'm going to have to make sure it's all taken care of." So seemingly Omega kind of confirming the other reports that had gone out there previously that he will likely have to undergo surgery. Now, speaking of the Young Bucks, of course, they're set to face FTR AEW Dynasty, but a new stipulation has been added to the match. With a week left until AEW's inaugural Dynasty pay-per-view on April 21st, Tony Khan continued to put the finishing touches on the card during Saturday's AEW Collision. Before the episode's tag team main event, play-by-play commentator Tony Schiavone announced the finals of the AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament, which will be contested at Dynasty between the Young Bucks and FTR to determine who will hold the currently vacant tag titles, will be a ladder match. Now, the ladder match is a relatively rare stipulation for AEW. The Dynasty title fight will be just the 14th such match in the company's 5-year history, and the 4th to be contested for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. The Young Bucks have been 2 of the previous 3, while FTR competed in the 3rd. Despite the Dynasty match being the 2 teams' 4th encounter, they have never squared off under ladder match rules. So, seemingly again, that's going to be taking place next weekend. Now, Jon Moxley, he's the brand new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, and many people are wondering, well, what does this mean about his future in AEW and his future in New Japan Pro Wrestling? Now, on Friday night, the Windy City Riot Show from the Wintrust Arena in Chicago, AEW star Jon Moxley defeated New Japan's IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Tetsuya Naito to capture the promotion's top prize. In doing so, Jon Moxley became the first man in history to have captured the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, and now the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship too. Coincidentally, the Wintrust Arena is also the site where he captured the AEW title in February 2020. Now, this move to having Moxley capturing the Japanese promotion's top prize has been in the offing since the start of 2024. This has coincided with the performer being granted time off from the American promotion in anticipation of the achievement. Now, Bodyslam.net is exclusively reporting that the Death Rider Moxley has been booked for the upcoming Dontaku, Kinzuna Road shows, as well as the tentpole Dominion show from Osaka, Japan. Therefore, he's going to be taking some time off of AEW, or at least having a much lighter schedule with All Elite Wrestling. Now, last night it was also Battle of the Bouts on TNT, and the first ever AEW Dynasty has an 8th match now, a 6th championship match following the events of Battle of the Bouts. Roderick Strong would take on longtime friend Kyle O'Reilly for the International Championship on the April 21st pay-per-view in a match that took shape very suddenly after Strong won his Eliminator match against Rocky Romero. Following Strong's victory, O'Reilly came out to congratulate him. The two have appeared to be on a cautiously friendly terms since O'Reilly returned to AEW, but didn't immediately elect to join the Undisputed Kingdom, the stable that includes Strong and the age-old O'Reilly frenemy Adam Cole. Strong, Cole, and O'Reilly were also members of the NXT stable Undisputed Era and the subsequent AEW stable known as the Undisputed Elite. The history goes back more than a decade to their days in pre-Tony Khan's Ring of Honor. However, after O'Reilly helped Romero to his feet, Strong and the Undisputed Kingdom attacked Romero in a gang beatdown. When O'Reilly tried to stop them, Strong suddenly delivered a jumping knee strike, laying him out. The announcement of the match at Dynasty came shortly afterwards, so that match is also set for next weekend. Now, with a bit of an update on Big E when it comes to his WWE in-ring return. Now, former WWE champion Big E, of course, has been unable to compete inside of a WWE ring in over 2 years after suffering a broken neck during a match on SmackDown on March 11, 2022. Now, the New Day member has continued to offer updates on his condition throughout his time away, with fans hoping for positive news regarding a potential return to the ring. Now, courtesy of a new post on social media, Big E has provided a new update following recent 2-year scans on his neck, revealing that he is still yet to be cleared to return to the ring, and unfortunately may never be cleared. Here's what he said, quote, "Hey all, 2-year neck scans are in, things are unchanged. My C1 has healed fibrously but has not formed new bone. I'm not medically cleared, and truthfully, I may never be cleared. But I am blessed to be free of pain, immensely happy, and otherwise healthy. Life is good." Now, a bit of an update when it comes to the reaction of Tama Tonga after him making his debut. Now, first of which, a bit of a change to how the segment was produced. This is very interesting stuff because according to Fightful Select, Jason Jordan was the sole producer of this week's Bloodline segment, which is a big change from the norm. As Fightful points out in their report, Bloodline segments are typically produced by Michael Hayes, with Bobby Roode also helping out recently. However, neither were involved this time around. Now, for what it's worth, neither Roode or Hayes were listed for any segments or matches from the show, so it's possible that this was a change made due to their absence. If we get any more details on that, of course, we'll let you know. As far as Tama Tonga, Fightful Select has provided insight into the reaction backstage on Tonga's big debut. According to their report, WWE were happy with the reaction Tonga received on television, considering his lack of exposure in the United States prior to this. Fightful Select also revealed that unlike other surprise debuts in the past, Tonga was not hidden backstage prior to his appearance on SmackDown. It was actually widely reported, wasn't it, prior to the show on Friday night that he was backstage in Detroit. Now, this is quite an interesting story too, because one element of WWE entrances could be going away, or at least being scaled back quite a lot. WWE reportedly is making changes to its weekly programming moving forward. According to PW Insider, the plan is for much of the augmented reality content commonly used on Raw and SmackDown to be dialed back significantly. That kind of content is what you can see on the screen right there, the sort of big graphics of superstars or match graphics, etc. That's going to be scaled back significantly. Now, such content, according to PW Insider, will be used on occasions such as for premium live events or something like that, but its general use is expected to be toned down moving forward. Now, this follows earlier reports that WWE would be scaling back its set and Titantron at TV tapings in favor of a smaller setup, as seen during WrestleMania's two-night spectacle in Philadelphia with the SmackDown and Raws post and pre-WrestleMania. As a result, the company told PW Insider they will also be cutting back on production staff and trucks. Endeavor has been steadily making changes to the company's production after merging WWE and UFC last year to form TKO Group Holdings, including the departure of executive producer and chief of global television distribution Kevin Dunn at the turn of the year. The augmented reality content referred to in the report includes the holographic match graphics and signatures shown in between segments, as well as audience participation elements such as QR codes shown to broadcast viewers, though it's likely that the company will be cutting back on the former more than the latter. Now, the graphics became a fixture of WWE programming while Vince McMahon was running the promotion and have been a constant source of criticism from fans clamoring for the minimalist visual setup. The recent production changes are just the latest sign that WWE is undergoing a serious transformation following the Endeavor purchase and McMahon's resignation earlier this year in the wake of the explosive Janelle Grant lawsuit. Now, this is also quite curious. Matt Riddle's reaction after losing the New Japan Television Championship on Friday. Now, New Japan returned to the United States for the second ever Windy City Riot event in Chicago, where Matt Riddle's reign as New Japan World Television Champion came to an end. Riddle defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi at the New Beginning in Sapporo event in February to become the third man to hold New Japan's TV title, before successfully defending it twice in MLW against TMDK's Bad Dude Tito and Kosei Fujita. However, when it came to his meeting with TMDK frontman Zack Sabre Jr., Riddle was defeated within the 15-minute time limit after Sabre secured a surprise roll-up. Now, while the match itself garnered a positive response from the fans in the Winchester Arena and people watching around the world, it is what happened after the dust had settled that left people scratching their heads. Once Sabre won the match, rather than selling the defeat, Riddle quickly left the ring and walked back to the entrance stage, high-fiving fans along the way and kind of no-selling the loss. Now, it's unclear if Riddle's going to be returning. It's unclear if Riddle was unhappy. If we get any more details on it, of course, we'll let you know in a future video. Now, Riho, the first ever AEW Women's World Champion, is going to be off AEW TV for probably some considerable time. Now, she hasn't wrestled since losing to Willow Nightingale on the Big Business edition of AEW Dynamite a month ago, and it turns out that might be the last time AEW fans see her for the foreseeable future. Riho recently posted an update on her whereabouts via her Instagram account, where she revealed that she's travelled back to Japan to renew her visa. She said, quote, "I'm currently in Japan for renew my visa," Riho wrote. "I don't know when I will return to AEW. Please stay healthy and enjoy your life then." So, of course, if we get any more details or updates on this, we'll let you know. Visas have become something of an issue for a number of stars in AEW, as so many of the company's performers are based outside of the United States. Recent examples of visa problems include Ring of Honor television champion Kyle Fletcher not being able to leave Australia, Switchblade Jay White not being able to perform at any of AEW's events in Canada so far in 2024, and many of the CMLL stars recently featured on AEW TV not being able to perform in the United States for the foreseeable future due to their visas being cancelled. So Riho just joins the latest list of several visa issues in AEW. Now, AEW has announced some upcoming events for this June as well. As announced on Twitter, AEW confirmed the June 5 edition of Dynamite will be taking place in Loveland, Colorado. It was also confirmed that on the Thursday, June 20, just 3 days removed from AEW Collision's one-year anniversary, Collision will emanate from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Then finally, in a double AEW taping on June 26, both Dynamite and Collision will be staged in Buffalo, New York. So those events have been announced as well. And a really surprising story finally coming from WWE, that longtime WWE employee, Warrior Award winner Sue Aitken has been let go from the company after close to 40 years with World Wrestling Entertainment. WWE reportedly has come to terms on the departure of 2019 WWE Hall of Fame Warrior Award recipient Sue Aitchison. the longtime director of community relations, had been with the company for 38 years, starting in 1986. But PW Insider reports she was let go this week. Over her tenure, Aitchison was lauded for her leadership of WWE's community outreach programs, directly credited for WWE's partnership with Make-A-Wish, with whom she was honored with the Chris Greikus Award in 2006 and 2016. Aitchison officially entered the WWE Hall of Fame in recipient of the Warrior Award, which WWE implemented as part of the ceremony in 2015 for those who have exhibited unwavering strength and perseverance and who live life with the courage and compassion that embodies the indomitable spirit of the Ultimate Warrior. At the time of her induction, Stephanie McMahon said of Aitchison, quote, "Sue has dedicated her entire career to helping Wish kids fulfill their dreams and putting smiles on countless familiar faces. Her heart and character epitomize the essence of the Warrior Award. She is an unsung hero who deserves to be recognized and immortalized in the WWE Hall of Fame." Now, PW Insider noted in its report that many former long-time employees were shocked by her departure and felt it was a further sign of change for the company. There have been a number of departures, talent and staff from WWE since Endeavor closed its acquisition of the company last year, merging it with UFC to form TKO Group Holdings, many of which have been put down to budget cuts and redundancies. However, Endeavor is also expected to remove those who may have had prior knowledge of the participation in Vince McMahon's sexual misconduct alleged in the ongoing lawsuit filed in January. But there you go, guys. It's the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.